Hi guys, I'm Sam, and today I have something that I built that I'm pretty proud of. This is my motorized shopping cart, complete with steering and brakes of course. So, now many people might be watching this right now wondering why I made this and what made me think of this idea. Well, first off, the idea came to me after a football game at my high school, where one of my friends found this shopping cart left at our school with nothing in it. At first, I was kinda hesitant of taking the shopping cart, but a couple of kids got spray paint and made the cart gold. So I figured I could sit idly by as everyone else had fun, or I could do something with this shopping cart, and obviously I decided on the latter. So I thought about what I could build with this and remembered that I had an old go-kart that I built in like middle school, so I decided to transfer over the go-kart parts to the shopping cart and make a Frankenstein go-kart shopping cart that I knew would look ridiculous but also awesome. Now into how I built it. I'm going to explain how I built the go-kart parts a while back so you know how everything works, but everything is going to be brief and concise as to ensure this video isn't an hour. But if you have any more specific questions about anything, feel free to ask. I'm going to start off with the back axle since that's the first thing connected to the shopping cart. Getting into it, the back axle works by square metal tubing to make a rectangle for the base of it. The axle itself was purchased online along with the bearings which are welded to the base of the back axle system. On the axle there is a hydraulic brake which I also bought. For this it is just a disc that is connected to an axle and then a brake system similar to the one on your car is put with the disc in the middle. Later on I will explain more about that, but moving back onto the sprocket which is the spinning thing on the axle. The sprocket is how the motor turns the back axle, and the sprocket is connected via a chain to a clutch which is connected to a lawnmower. The chain connecting these two things must be tight though, so that's where the engine mount comes in. The engine mount, which I designed myself, is made of two metal plates. One of these plates is welded to the base that holds the rest of the back axle. On the other plate, two angle iron pieces are welded onto it on the opposite sides of the plate. This plate slides on top of the other plate to allow forward and backward movement of the top plate. The engine is connected onto the top plate and two turnbuckles are used to tighten and loosen the chain connecting the sprocket to the clutch. So this entire system was welded onto the back of the shopping cart where the back wheels used to be. I used knobby tires to act as back axle tires. Now, onto the sitting position of the person in the vehicle. For this, I just cut out the front end of the shopping cart to make room for my feet and also cut a smaller hole above it to make a room for a steering wheel which I put in later. Now onto the front of the build. For the front portion of the motorized shopping cart, I took the front portion of my go-kart, which was built by once again making a frame out of square tubing. I then welded a piece of sheet metal under that square tubing to ensure my feet weren't in any danger of slipping and hitting the road below. For the steering system I used, I honestly just looked up go-kart steering systems as I really had no idea how to do this. So I'll show you a model of something similar to my build, and as it really isn't my own idea, I don't feel the need to talk about exactly how I did it, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Also, on this front system, I made two pedals, a brake and a gas. They were made by using a thick sheet metal and welding them to metal tubes, which worked as bearings when connected with a bolt welded to the frame. These pedals then each had a piece of angle iron sticking out to connect to either the brake system or the throttle cable. I then welded this entire front system to where the front wheels were, and I then added more square metal tubing to secure the front system in place. After this, I then grinded off the old rod for the steering wheel and welded a new one on. I welded a system for the rod to fit through in order to go to the steering system. The next thing I did was create a kill switch. This, for those of you who don't know, is a switch that stops the engine from running and is extremely important to my safety. I did this by soldering wires from a switch I had bought to the engine's kill switch wires. After this, I connected my engine to my gas pedal using a brake line from bikes and welded little rings all along the shopping cart to secure the line from the engine to the gas pedal. The next thing I did was connect the pump and brake pedal to the system. This system works by having brake fluid inside of a pump and tubes. When the brake pedal is pushed, the pump pushes fluid down to the brake, where the fluid then pushes the brake pads into the brake disc. At this point, it was just a lot of minor things that needed to be perfected, and I was ready to go. Thanks for watching and getting to the end of this video. I put a lot of time and effort into this build, and I'm very proud of it. So please like if you enjoyed, Comment if you have any questions or want me to delve deeper into any specifics of the build, and lastly, subscribe.